are. Hi, Edge.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Yes. Thank you for
Oh,
your time.
yeah, thank you. I was trying to
Yeah.
join off my laptop and see if I could do it off of the
Oh, I don't think you cannot join a laptop. I think it's mobile
yeah,
only.
only by phone, right?
Yeah, phone or
Oh, it just
you can do with iPad.
no, it just came on.
Hi,
Well, I
Angel.
guess it's showing on both, so
But you can watch
I can watch
your
it.
on on a laptop too, right?
Yeah,
But you cannot
I'm,
join from laptop.
yeah, I'm trying to be innovative. I'm trying to be, you know,
That's okay. That's all we can do. We gotta try.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So I got it. I'm on my phone, so I'm good.
Yep. I can see you. That's good.
Good, good, good. So
Good.
good to be on.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I
And
really
you shouldn't be
appreciate it.
nervous. I'm the one that's nervous. I mean, I'm going halfway around the world here. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's
It
a big
is.
deal. Yeah.
So, you live in Chicago?
Excuse me.
Where you live? You live in Chicago?
No,
Chicago.
I'm actually. We moved to Atlanta, Georgia, a
How?
about a year and a half ago now. So that was a
Oh,
big move for us to spend our whole lives in Chicago, and then we decided to move to warmer weather.
wow.
Yeah.
Whose decision
Yeah.
for that? Who made a
Well,
decision
my
to
wife.
move?
Well, we've been together
Yes. Your wife?
38 years, 38
Yeah.
years now. So,
Donna,
so
right? Donna?
I don't make any decisions.
You sound like my husband.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say without saying it, because she can hear me from the other room.
She's not watching you from another room, right? She's
Yeah.
just hearing it.
Are you watching? She was just in here a few seconds ago. So,
Oh, nice, nice. Oh my
but
gosh.
actually, my granddaughter moved here, and we followed our first grandbaby.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
That's so
yeah.
nice. How old
It,
is your grandbaby, granddaughter?
she just turned 4.
4?
Yeah, so she just turned 4, and I was just laughing about her because she tries to do my hair for me all the time,
Oh,
and, and she's like she pretends I have a ponytail,
yep.
and she's sitting there and she's fixing my hair for me and doing things, and it's like, oh,
Oh,
the imagination of a 4-year old. So I actually keep a lot of her in me now, so that I could have the imagination of a baby, of a person who just looks at the world and pretends that everything can be done.
yes.
And
They
that's
got,
yeah,
yeah.
that's part of life. It's just us as adults.
Yes.
When
I
we
understand. Yeah.
yeah, when we fall, we don't want to get up.
I
But
know.
when you're a small baby, you just bounce back up.
Yep. Start walking.
So
Like they have so much curiosity. They don't even care they're
exactly,
gonna fail or anything, right? They just and they
exactly.
walk up and laugh, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I watched that your granddaughter's trying to make a ponytail, right? And that was really cute post. Really
Yeah.
made me smile.
Yeah, that's the thing. We try to do a lot of things where
Yes.
they're just natural, and then I'll just have my phone right there,
Mm-hmm.
and she's just being herself and being fun, and she likes to laugh. She loves to get the joke. Like even when before she could talk, I would do a little nod to her, and she would nod back at me, and she was only about 6 months old. And
Really?
yeah, and then she would just laugh at it. Like, and I'm like, when did a baby learn how to just get a joke? Like, and we would just look at each other and kind of just do this whole thing. And so I have all it on tape. I have a lot of things. I just started a YouTube channel with her, and
Yeah.
I'm going to put all her little things up
Yep.
there of all
Yeah.
the things that we've done.
Yeah, it's a priceless, those moments,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes. Wow, that's
So
amazing.
we're in Atlanta, Georgia now. We spent,
Yep.
like I said, our whole lives in Chicago, and you know
Yeah.
Chicago is very cold in the winter.
I would imagine. Actually, I live in Canada, Niagara Falls.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
know the cold weather. Well,
Yeah.
actually, originally, I
Hmm.
was born in Japan. I was raised in Japan, Southern
Okay.
Island, subtropical area. And I
Okay.
came Canada 7 years ago, 26 years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
So I know it's just so cold.
Yeah. It
So
is. It
snowing
is. Yeah.
cold,
Yeah.
you know. So my husband and I, maybe when we, after, maybe, after we retire, we can just maybe go to 6 months to my hometown because it's warm weather. I
Yeah.
would rather have warm weather,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, how
So
often do you get back?
usually every year, but this COVID things kind of made us stay, right? It's hard
Uh,
to go back to Japan.
Yeah.
So I haven't gone back for 2.5 years,
Okay.
but I usually go back every year. And then I am like more likely you guys. I
Hmm.
mean, like my family comes first,
Yes.
right? I
Yeah.
see you just like I can tell. Like I was
Hmm.
reading all the posts and even watching YouTube and just like family,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
have a business. You have a business. You do like you sales. You have a business like doing sales class
Hmm.
and writing classes.
Yeah.
But no, those are the important. But it kind of makes me feel like everything you do is kind of something to do with family too.
Yes, it is, and that's by design too, because in Chicago,
Yeah.
I I grew up in one of the worst areas of Chicago,
Okay.
and
Which is like
so
south side.
the South, yeah, the South. Well, Chicago has two
Yeah.
parts that's really, really known, and that's the South Side, certain sections
Hmm.
of the South Side, because
Yeah.
Chicago has beautiful, beautiful communities, but there are certain areas
Yeah.
that it's concentrated. And one of the
Yeah.
areas I grew up in was one of those areas. And actually, that area, just like my granddaughter, I had dreams of making it, dreams of wanting to do something special.
Hmm.
So, coming from that area, my best friend and myself would always talk about growing up and making it out, and that was a big thing in Chicago. It's like we're gonna be the kids that make it out of that area, and we're gonna be sports heroes, and
Yes.
and so as he started talking about this story of
Hmm.
us making it out, I started taking mental notes of it. And so,
Wow. Okay.
so
Yeah.
as young as the age of 5 years old, we became best friends. So by the time we were 10, 11, 12 years old,
Hmm.
area kept getting worse. And you had different challenges in that area, gangs, violence, drugs.
Hmm.
But I stayed true to the original dream that we had when we were small, which were that we were going to make it out of there. We were going to do something special. And one
Wow.
day we would come back and be heroes. And
Really? Wow.
the
Okay.
last thing,
Yeah.
the last thing that he talked about, my best friend, his name is Ray. The last thing
Right.
he talked
Yep.
about was writing a book about all of these adventures that we were having. So again, it was all type of challenges, but we decided that we were going to be the ones. And so by the time we got into college, and my personal family life have fallen apart. My parents were divorced. Uh, Half of my family was not talking to the other half, and this
Hmm.
was all going on during this period of from the age of 5 years old to 15 or 16 years old. So
Wow.
family became very important
Yes.
because for me, they say the things that you desire sometimes come from the pain that you experience.
That's so true. Yes.
And the one person that I couldn't speak to when I was a teenager was my mom.
Your
Because
mom?
yeah, my mother, because during the divorce that she and my dad had, when she didn't speak to him, she stopped speaking to me.
Oh.
And so during the ages of 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, I didn't see my mom. So I was growing up in this area where all of this violence was at. And I wanted the person, I'm the youngest of 9 kids, so 9 of us. And I was
9.
9. And
Wow.
I was the youngest.
You
So
were
my
the
mom
baby
wasn't,
one. Baby one.
yeah, I was always known as the baby, So with all of this going on,
Yes.
the one person I wanted to love me the most at that time was my mom.
Of course. Of course. I know.
But she,
Yeah.
but the person that was there the most was my best friend. So that became my family. And
Yes.
by the time we got into college, we went to the same college together. And so we made it out. So part of our dream was to make it out. And going to college was a big dream because we were able to get out of Chicago.
Yeah.
And we were able to, be out of that area that we talked about.
Yes.
But by being out, one thing I realized, and this was the most important thing, was that when we moved out of there physically, we still had the mental part that we hadn't left. So we went to a different environment, but we carried all the baggage, but we had the wrong baggage with us. We didn't have the suitcases that you carry your clothes with. We had the baggage of the projects, the mentality, the hurt that was going on there, the desperation.
Yeah.
And so during that time, I went on and I played football. I was an athlete and I played in college. And I met Donna, my wife, there, and we became close. But at the same time that was going on, my best friend flunked out of school.
Oh.
And he had to go back into the inner city. So he was back there while I was in college, and I was worried about him all the time.
Of course. Yeah.
More and more adversities and things were going on in that time. So eventually,
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're back. That's okay. Yeah, I can hear you very good.
Okay, because a call had come in, so it interrupted the phone. So when,
okay.
so Ray was back in the city, and we had a conversation because I graduated from college. I had my girlfriend. I started working in corporate America, and that's where I learned how to sell. I'm a salesperson. And he was back in the city, and we talked about life, and we talked about all the things that were going on. And we both started out together.
Yeah.
We had these dreams of making it, and now we were sitting and we were having a conversation. And I said, if you continue to go the way that you're going to go, you're not going to live a long life.
Wow. You're such a good friend.
And that was the toughest conversation.
Yeah.
That was the toughest conversation I had with a person.
I would imagine. I would imagine. But you're so brave enough, cared him a lot.
Yeah. And I would go down to the area that we grew up in, which wasn't a very good area, and I would try to go get him and bring him back to where I grew up, where I was living now, because my circumstance had totally changed. And that's the same thing that people go through every day now. Our jobs is to try to help people get away from their mental and physical things that's holding them down.
Yeah.
And that's why I became so passionate at that, because Ray, our whole lives was about overcoming and
Okay.
and getting out of that mindset, the mental part of what you go through, in order to change your life, change your destiny, and change your, change the perception of your life. So I became one of the top salesmen in a
Yeah.
Fortune 500.
Mm-hmm.
And same time that I was the top salesman, he was shot in the head in the inner city of Chicago.
Yeah. Yep.
And our stories, although they were like this, they started together, they separated. And
Okay.
during that
Yep.
time, one of the keys to my life was having a solid relationship with a beautiful lady that would be the focus of my attention. And it kept me from running the streets of Chicago because I was so busy chasing her.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the episode on your YouTube,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That
yeah.
was
So,
so cute. That was so cute.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Where
you talk about your wife, right?
yeah, and
You
that, and that.
ask her, right?
I asked her to marry me, and she says
And
no.
you got no money?
You broke.
You broke.
uh,
But you kept chasing
yeah,
her.
I kept on because she was good. See, that's the
What
thing.
made you not let her go though? Like what made you keep it trying? Like she's the one. She's the one. Why you
Oh
didn't give
man,
up?
she because in class she would always raise her hand when the
Mm-hmm.
professor would ask a question, and I would say, would this girl just stop raising her hand and be quiet? But on the other end, I paid attention to her because she always asked questions. Um, she was
Oh.
beautiful. She was
Yes, she
smart.
is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So in my mind, I said, if I ever get a chance to actually meet her,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to marry. That's a girl I can marry. And I think sometimes you just
Wow.
know who you want. You just realize that this is somebody you want to be with. And so, like I said, we've been together. It'll be 38 years total that we've been together.
Wow.
And
Wow.
our anniversary
That's
is next week.
next week.
Next
Oh,
week.
happy
Next
anniversary.
week. Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
nice. Everybody put a
Yeah.
heart. Everybody put a heart. Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And I
Wow.
told her this the other day. This is what I actually said to her.
Yeah.
Because she grew up in a very bad area in Chicago
Hmm.
also.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
and her stepdad was very abusive. So when she told me about that story, I told her, I said, I said, I'm going to marry this girl, and at the end of our lives, she's going to look back and say, I had a beautiful life with this man. And
Wow.
that's the promise I made to her. I didn't tell her that. I told myself that.
Hmm. Hmm.
I told her
Wow.
uh,
Wow.
that I said, and so now I told her about it the other day. I said, that was the promise that I made to you 38 years ago. And I said,
38.
the only
Yeah.
thing I said, I wanted to keep my promise.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
That's amazing. Sounds like so far I was
Hmm.
really pay attention what you're talking about because it's so fascinating, your stories,
Yeah.
right? The Ray, your
Yeah.
wife, your life, your
Yeah.
mom. And then you sounds like once you made up your mind, once you promised to yourself, You keep
Mm-hmm.
your promise no matter what. You have,
Yeah.
sounds like you're strong, like outside and inside, right? Where those
Yeah.
strength come from though?
That came from being the youngest of 9. What you
Yeah.
get a chance to do is you get a chance to see your older sisters and brothers make all their mistakes. And you get to learn from them. Plus, you get a chance to see
Yes.
how they age and how they get older. Because I had siblings that was 20 years older than me.
Yes. Wow. Wow, that's a big difference, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So my oldest sister is my wife's mom's age.
That could sometimes happen.
Yeah, yeah. But that's
Wow.
all.
So they all
So,
came from same mom, right?
yeah,
Your
same
mom had
mom.
9 kids.
She had 9 kids. And so in seeing that, I did a motivational speech one time,
Yes.
and I remember I was in my 30s at the time, and the
Mm-hmm.
people in the audience were all 40s and 50s and older.
Yep.
And one guy said to me before I came up to do the keynote speech, he said, "What can you teach us when you're younger than everybody in here?"
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was sitting there, and part of what we have to do as thought leaders is know that, just like I told the man in the speech, I said, I'm not only speaking from what I know, I'm speaking
Yes.
from all of my siblings, my mom and dad. So I said, if you add up all of our ages, we're really 950 years old worth
That's
of
really old.
information. I
It's
said,
almost 1,000 years
that's what
old.
I'm bringing. Yeah. I said, that's what I'm bringing to the table is all of this age, all of this knowledge, all of this wisdom. And it just doesn't come
Wow.
from us. It comes from books. It comes from learning. It comes from sharing. And
Yeah.
that's why as thought leaders, we have to be knowledgeable about the subjects that we talk about.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I know, well, really 4 things that I try to concentrate on.
Okay.
And
Can you
one,
share those ones?
yeah,
Yes, please.
the 4 things that I talk about is my life, because I know my life story.
Mm-hmm.
And in there, I wrote about that story, and that was this here, Silent Cry.
That's Ray. You talk about
Yeah,
your friend's Ray,
yeah,
right?
Ray,
It's true story.
right,
Yeah.
right. So that's the true story about me and my best friends growing up in Chicago.
Silent cry. Yep.
Silent Cry. And in that story, it talks about how we wanted to make it, and my 2 best friends were murdered. Ray and Deke were both murdered, and I was
Oh
the one that
no.
survived. But
Oh.
in it, it's fun. Like a gentleman told me this. He said your book is a walking history lesson about African Americans in America. But he
Yes.
said you win because you share your family. So it's not just a sad story about what happened, but in
Mm-hmm.
it is life, it's fun,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
choices. It's the choices that we make. So that's one thing. The second thing is, so it's who you are. That's the first thing. The second thing is what you know. And that's where the second book, Practice What You Preach.
Yep. Practice
And
what you
it's
preach.
the keys, it's the 10 principles for taking responsibility for your own success. So this is self-help and development.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are keys. And I put in here the 10 principles that anybody can use in their life to start where they are and make a difference with themselves first. Because if you don't take care of yourself first, you can't take care of anyone else.
No, that's
So that's
so
the
true.
second thing. So your personal life, what you know. The third one was the sales. What I learned in corporate America, I learned how to sell,
Yes.
and I
That's
learned
that's
how.
yes. That's your
Right.
business. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
like to say business, but that's your life work too, right?
Well,
Too.
but sell. Let me explain something about sell.
Shh.
I believe
Yes,
that
please.
everybody sells. I believe everybody's a salesperson. Think
Really?
about
Even
this.
if I can sell too, I can do the sales.
You're selling every day because you have a husband, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So when you're seen with your husband and he wants
Okay.
to go to one place and you want to go to another, what
Yeah.
you're doing is coming to some type of agreement to do one or the other. That's all
Yes.
selling is. Selling is basically getting someone to see that
Hmm.
your product or service is worth them investing in.
Oh, okay. So I'm doing it.
See, you're doing it now. You're doing it now. Every time you get on Instagram and you do your show,
Yes. Yes.
you're sharing something that somebody could say, "Oh, I like that. I want more of that." What we tend to think about selling is that it's negative because we've been inundated with salespeople are pushy.
Yeah. That's my
Salespeople
image.
are, yeah, they're aggressive.
Yeah.
But really, everything in the world is being sold. Everything.
Mm.
From what you have on, from the items behind you,
Yeah.
everything is sold. Right now, this is
I never
sold.
thought about that.
Remember we used to laugh that water would cost money? There was a time when we said, it's no way you're going to buy water, but somebody's selling this, right?
No.
Somebody's
I
selling
never
this.
thought we're gonna buy water, right?
Yeah. So think about what's not being sold. Everything is sold. It's just that when it's sold to a point where it's done so well, you don't think that you're being sold. That's the best
Okay.
sales because you see the need for the product because that's all
Hmm.
sales is fulfilling a need. So what we try to do, and I try to do, is get people to understand the behind what
Yeah.
sales is, just like I'm saying. So when you're conscious of it, you're actually more aware of what you're trying to do. Because
Oh,
what
so
you're doing is,
you're not saying yeah, go ahead, EJ. That's
no,
okay.
go ahead. I want to hear your question.
Oh no.
What do you?
So I have a question. Like, so
Mhm.
you're not trying to just teaching just not just the technique. You're trying
No.
to like on your sales ones training. You're also
Mhm.
teaching about mindset or consciousness
Exactly.
and like not
Exactly.
like just surface.
Right. Not
Like
just surface.
technique and surface. Yeah.
Right. No. You're teaching how to deal with different personalities, for instance. Because
Oh,
if
that
I was to,
yeah.
if I'm talking to you
Hmm.
and I talk to my wife, and then I talk to another person, the personalities are all different. So the
Yeah.
approach has to be different. There's
Yes.
no one way to approach anyone.
Hmm.
When I'm with my granddaughter as a 4-year-old, and I want her to eat her, like her favorite food is oatmeal. She loves oat. She wants to eat oatmeal all day.
Wow,
But
healthy girl.
yesterday
Yeah.
we want her to eat her broccoli. We want her to eat her carrots. We want her to eat. So I have to
Yeah.
sell her on that.
Oh my
So
God,
remember,
that's fun. Yeah.
I have her puppets, Mr. Brown,
Yes,
and
yes.
so
I remember him.
that's where, yeah, that's where her puppets come in, and she watches them eat, and they talk to her about eating, and I use it sort of as like Sesame Street,
Yep.
but it's all selling. It's all selling her on how to eat. And so I use those type of techniques because that's where she's at. And so that's what selling is. It's really showing not just, oh, you're going to go out and you're going to, buyers are liars and you're going to get their
Yeah.
money from them. It's not that way at all. It's showing a process.
Hmm.
My wife is a computer, so she's a project manager,
Hmm.
so more behind the scenes.
Hmm.
So now she's written 3 books now. So she's written
The Egypt ones, the
the
trip.
Egypt, right? So
Yeah.
this is a series, the Dawson twins. And that's
I love
actually
that.
my daughter, the one that's in fashion design now. This is
Yep.
her playing the character of the twins. And
Nice.
that's my
Are they
son
are they
there.
actually twins?
No, this is one girl. This is
Yeah.
Dominique. And Dominique
Okay.
is the one, if you look on YouTube, she's doing all the fashion. She
Yep.
owns the
Oh, yes.
fashion design company. So that's her.
Ah.
And then this is Mario. He's my son. He's the engineer.
Yep.
So he's playing the character of, he takes the girls on magical trips
Mm-hmm.
throughout time. And so she has this is the middle school version of the book. And
Yeah.
this is
And
the
I see like little
third,
ones
fourth,
too.
third and fourth
Ah,
and fifth grade
nice.
version of it.
Oh my
So it's still
gosh.
adult. And then we have the ABC book that she just came out with. And this is Sage, my granddaughter's favorite book now, is
Yeah.
ABC Egypt.
That's
And so
nice.
everything is
Well,
about Egypt. And
yeah. Why Egypt though? I'm just curious.
you said what age?
No,
What
Egypt.
was the question?
What, yeah, why the theme is Egypt?
Oh, this is
Just
just the
wondering.
first one. That's just the first. Now she's doing a second series where the Dawson twins go to another place in the world. So they're going to
Oh,
go all
okay.
over the world, and they take
Exploring
these
like,
adventures. Exactly. So if you
oh,
think of
wow.
it, it's like Harry Potter or any
Yep.
other kid. With these little girls, they're going to go
Mm-hmm.
everywhere eventually. So the first one was just Egypt, and she had her reasons for choosing that area.
Mm-hmm.
But part of it was when our kids were small. In we have two different things going on, because you're teaching lessons, but you're also teaching pride, because
Okay. Pride.
most
Yeah.
kids, most African American kids, when they think of Africa, they think of something negative. They think of, oh, you're just in a jungle and you're just running around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when
Yep.
she looks for things, she's teaching that these kids go over to a wealthy continent and they learn things in Egypt, like the pyramids, and they learn about certain
Yeah.
things. So they're
Very. Yeah. Yep.
while they're reading, they're actually learning. So and she
Oh.
wanted to do that when our kids were small. She kept looking for things
Yeah.
that would make them interested in their culture, and she couldn't find anything. So I said, well, why don't you write it? Why don't you do it? And so that challenged her to come up with her series to do that. So
Wow.
she's going to
Wow.
continue.
Wow.
So we want these to be, I want this to be a movie. This is the next
Yeah.
level. So we're looking at this from book to film. So Silent Cry. And these she wants to be the cartoon series or some type of series for kids.
Wow. It's exciting. Exciting
Yeah,
too,
so
right?
it shows you that it just never stops. It just never you keep pushing it. So we're meeting with people. We were in Africa right before the pandemic, and we were
You
talking
oh,
to
yep.
people there about bringing the books over there. And that's the beautiful thing about us as speakers and thought leaders. You have to look at the entire world. You can't just look and say, like, I want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take our stories around the world.
Yes. No limit. No borders.
No, no limit, no borders, no
Yeah.
limitation. Um,
Yeah.
and that's where, like having the sales class, we're going to
Yep.
have that online. So that'll be a class that anybody can take. The writing class that we just
Yes.
came up with, because we have 6 books. I'm working on another book right now,
Mm-hmm.
which is a children's book.
Oh, you're writing
And
children's book.
yeah, I'm writing a children's book now.
Yeah, that's sweet.
I was inspired by my wife, where I'm taking my characters in real life, they passed away. In the children's book, we're superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
So we solve crimes in
Wow.
Chicago instead of,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so you see, so I took it and took my imagination that my 4-year-old gave me. And I said, I'm going to
I
make
know.
me, Ray, and Deke whatever I want them to be.
Yeah.
So we come back as superheroes now.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
only
Wow. That's
and the only way we can do it is through our friendship and our love for each other.
That's so sweet. Oh my gosh. Wow. So
So
you
it's
start, you said yeah, go ahead, go ahead. That's okay.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh
Go
no,
ahead.
no, I'm not. It's okay. I was just so much having fun, but listening to you too. Like just like my mind is starting like 4 years old. Like wow, it's gonna be so good, right? But
Yeah.
through writing courses you
Mhm.
offered, right? The writing is only for writing books or maybe writing, online or like just, or some people they like to write like anything
Yeah.
like a blog and like it's just what kind of things you
Yeah.
are aiming like.
For this one, because you want to
Yeah.
start in a vertical, you want to start in a niche. So
Okay.
the one thing that we know is that we've written books. So we've written 6 books. So this
Yes.
is a course. So it's called I've Decided to Write a Book. Now what? Because
Ooh, I like the
every
title. Yeah, I like the yeah. Now what?
yeah, it's very simple. It's about people.
Yeah.
I believe that all of us have a story. Everybody has a story to tell.
Yes. I firmly believe
I know
that.
I know that for a fact.
Yes.
Now, have you written a book yet?
Nope.
Have you thought about it?
Not really. No, no.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Is there something in your heart,
Yep.
in your mind that you're passionate about that you want to share?
Oh, very much. That's why I'm in the
So
movement
that's a
makers.
book. Yeah, that's a book.
Oh, okay.
So, and what it is, and remember what Evan said in
Yes.
Movement Maker, a combination of everything that you're saying, one day you're going to go back and all of the videos that you're making,
Yes.
you're going to go back and you're going to do the written excerpts of those books. I mean, of those videos, and it's going
Mm-hmm.
to become a book. This book, Practice What You Preach. You know what this
Yep.
is? This is
Nope. What
every
is it about?
workshop. This is every workshop that I ever took and went to, and I took the notes from all the workshops that I went to, from
Wow.
sales, from motivational
Yeah.
things, and over the years, and I took that information and I put it into my own words, and it became a
So
book. So
valuable.
practice.
Wow.
So that's why I say I had no intention. I did not want to write any books. Remember, my best friend wanted to write a book.
Yes.
I wrote the book because he never had a chance to write it, the first book, because he died before he actually had a chance to write it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one of the last conversations he had with me, he asked me, he said, "This reminds me of the book that we always wanted to write." And he wrote me a letter, a
Oh.
handwritten letter, and it had that in it. And I remember crying
Oh.
because
Yeah. Wow.
it brought back the memories of us wanting to write the book. But here was a story that he couldn't tell himself because he had died before he had a chance. He died before he
Oh.
reached 30 years old. So
Wow.
he didn't have a chance. So for 3 years, I would tell people my story. In corporate America, I would talk to people and they would be like, "Man, that's a fantastic story."
Mm-hmm.
And so one day I was driving past a college campus and I saw they had a speaker that was going to be on the campus. And I'm going
Mm-hmm.
home from my job. And back then in sales, you know, you're driving your car and you're out in your territory. So I
Yes,
said, I'm
yes.
going to stop. I'm going to stop and see who the speaker is because I want to hear the
Yeah,
speaker.
yeah.
Uh, and when I got there, the kids
Mm-hmm.
on the college campus were running around in hysteria. And I said to them, I said, what's going on? They said, our speaker is late
Hmm.
and we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I said, well, what was the speaker going to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
They said, well, they were going to talk about encouraging us to make it in the real world. So at the time,
Okay.
I said, well, I'm a sales guy. I work in a Fortune 500 company. And I said, if you want, I'll speak to you guys until the speaker gets here.
You offer.
And they,
I mean,
yeah, I
you
offered. Yeah.
like, yeah, wow.
And so they said, you would do that for us? I said, sure. I said, you
My
know,
gosh.
I said, let me call my wife and let her know I'm gonna be coming home
Yeah.
late. And so I stayed there and I talked to these students, and
Yeah.
I wasn't really far removed from it. I had just been out of college probably uh, 5 or 6 years. So I wasn't even 30 years old yet. I was probably like 26 or
Mm-hmm.
27 years.
Young.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
and when I talked to them, they were so happy about what I shared. One of the young ladies walked up to me and she said, "Can I interview you for the school newspaper?"
That's
And I was
amazing.
like,
Oh my gosh.
"Yeah." So I said, "Sure." So she said, "Where else do you speak at?" And I hadn't done any speaking anywhere because I was just coming up.
Oh
And
my gosh.
so she started treating me as though I was a celebrity. And this is
Oh
what she
my
did. She said,
gosh.
"What other projects?" She said, "What other things are you? What's next on your things to do?" And I was sitting there, so I said, "Well, I think I'm gonna write a book
Okay.
because me and my
Yeah.
best friend had always talked about writing a book from when we were 5 years old." So,
Yes.
so a few days later, she called me and she said, "The newspaper is out. The school newspaper is out. And I wrote an article on you. You can come by and pick it up." And I went by and I picked it up.
Yeah.
And YUKO, when I saw in writing in the newspaper where it said I
Yeah.
was going to write a book, I started trembling because when you see something that you spoke into existence,
Yeah.
it scares you.
Oh, very much.
And this was the first time,
Oh, very
yeah.
much. Yes.
And this was the first time I saw myself manifest that I wanted to write this book. And it sent me on a
Really?
journey. And I tried to get out of it. I tried to get somebody else to do it. I looked for a ghostwriter.
Yeah. Nope.
I didn't want you know, that was the next phase. After you know that you're destined to do something, you run from it.
Well, like yeah, yeah, of course. Well, I told you, right? I shouldn't say I told you, but you're the person. Once you made up in your mind, you do it
Hmm.
no matter what, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so that's what I did. And so from there,
Amazing,
it started
amazing.
weighing on me. And I would go to work and and finally I got to a point where I met this guy. He had written
Yep.
7 books and he was an
Yes.
older gentleman at the time. And my older brother knew about this guy. He said, "This is a guy, he's known for writing books. He's a famous real estate guy." So he gave me the number to his office. And so I called the guy's office thinking that he wouldn't pick, like, there's no way I'm going to get this guy. He's a millionaire, he's famous,
Yes.
but his
Yeah.
secretary put me through to him.
Wow.
And so I said, so I was so nervous. I said, excuse me, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I, I, I want to write a book. And I wasn't confident in the conversation. And so he finally said, he said to me, he said, how old are you? And I said, 28,
Yes.
27, 28. He said,
Yeah.
you're too young to write a book. He said, you don't have
Oh,
anything to say. He said, I didn't
that's what
write
he,
my
yeah.
first book until I was 45. And he said,
Okay.
and he just started just laying into me about I wasn't ready to write a story, who was going to read what
Yeah.
I had. And then he said, if you were serious, he said, you would pick up the pen and the words would flow from your pen as though it was music.
Yes.
Then he said, I have to go. He said, you're wasting my time. And I sat there and I started crying in the back then you had telephone
Yeah.
booths. And I
Yeah, yeah,
started
yeah.
crying. I was and
You were
and they say
hurt or like,
I
yeah.
was hurt. I was hurt, but I was also embarrassed.
Yeah, yeah.
And they, they say success is when a failure gets mad. Remember that. Success is when failure gets mad. I got
Yes.
so mad that I said, I'm going to write this book. I'm going to find this old man one day
Yes.
and I'm going to let him know that I wrote and finished this book.
Wow. So
Now,
very thankful that guy, right? I
yeah.
guess.
And
Yeah.
do you know we did a TV show together
Really?
and
I
he
don't
was
know.
in
It's on,
and he was in
is
it.
it on your YouTube or I mean, you have
I'm going
any
to put
link?
no, I haven't put it up. I have so much stuff. I have material. I can go look at it. This is all you
You guys.
remember these things?
Yes, back in
You
those
what are
days.
these? Cassette tape, right?
I
These
grew
are
up with
all
that.
speeches
No.
from me. These are all speeches.
I haven't seen cassette tape
These are
for
all
ages, but oh my gosh. I remember those
because
ones.
you don't even want to hear that story. You don't even want to hear that story, but because this is when I moved to Atlanta, but that's a whole
Yeah.
nother story about these are tapes of me speaking back when I was from 1984,
Yeah.
1985,
In
1986,
1984, 90. Wow, I was teenager back then,
19,
but
19,
I existed.
1990s.
Yes.
So, and God blessed me that I found these before we moved from Chicago. I
But
found,
do you have equipment to play? You know, the what is called
well, the,
cassette record. I mean, not the recorders, right? But that's the things too.
here, because you're asking, let me show you this.
Okay. What is it called? Like I don't know, boom. It's not boombox, but I used to have.
Oh yeah,
Oh, the
let me share something.
is it like
This is funny.
Walkman, Sony? Oh yeah, that one's. I remember those ones.
Don't mess with me. I got everything. Let me tell you, I was in my
Jeez.
story. So you got me
Yeah.
started. But let me finish with this guy first. Because
Yeah.
I saw him and I shared that story with him, and I
Yeah.
said, you were a blessing to me because the day that I cried was the day that I got mad. The day that I got
Yep.
mad was
Yep.
the day I wanted to pick up a pen.
Yep.
And it took me, because I had been talking about writing a book for 3 years.
Yep.
And it took me 3 years to write it. So, so the first book took 6 years to do because 3 years I wouldn't do it. I
Hmm.
wouldn't touch a pen. I wanted somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
And finally, I had 1,000 sheets of notepads like this.
Oh,
I had a
geez.
thousand
Yes.
sheets
All
of paper.
those ones. Yes.
Yeah. And then I said to my wife, I said, I got all of these sheets. I have been writing for 3 years. And she promised me every Friday and Saturday she would take the kids on Friday evening and Saturday so I could write. So I wrote twice
Oh,
a week for 3 years.
wow. You
And
have a
then
great
I had
wife.
1,000 sheets of paper, like I told you. And I said, honey, here's my book. And I said, you
Yes.
have to type it out for me.
Yeah, yeah,
She said it'll take me 3 years just to type it.
yeah.
So I sat there and started crying.
Like I have these ones
Because back
right
then,
here, right? So what's happened? Those ones, like
yeah,
you
I have
found
it right
somebody
here.
else to.
I
I'm sorry.
finally found two people.
Yep.
I found two people uh, to type it out. So they each typed
Good.
500 pages of it. And that's
Wow.
part of the process. In the writing books, I tell those stories. And when in the how to write a book, I've decided to write a book class of determination, of never stopping, never quitting, because
Yes,
someone, there's a famous guy, Malcolm X. I don't know if you ever heard of Malcolm X,
I've heard his name. Yep,
but
I've heard his name.
he
Yeah.
had an autobiography
Yes.
that's very, very famous, and it's in the library. And so a person was looking for his book,
Mm-hmm.
and next to it was Silent Cry in the library.
Really?
And and the lady,
Wow.
she called me and she said, you know, I was looking for the autobiography of Malcolm X, and she said, I saw a book about you. She said,
Wow.
you're in the library. She said,
Wow, that's
you're
amazing.
she said, you're in history. And this is what I told her. I said, I know because I planned it that way. Because
Yeah.
when you become a thought leader, you want to
Yep.
have things that outlive your existence.
Mm-hmm.
Books outlive us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That that
Oh yeah.
that book will be in the library forever.
Of course.
So that's why I encourage people to tell their stories, because nobody can tell your story like you.
Yep. That's so true. That's so true. It's sharing the
Remember
story
Evan?
means yeah.
Yeah. Remember Evan
No,
said
go ahead.
the reason Evan Carmichael and Movement Makers, the
Mm-hmm.
reason he likes to do everything on YouTube is because he said YouTube will be up there forever. Remember that?
Yep. Yep. I remember that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you can go back
So
13 years, right? The Evan just
exactly.
like I put, yeah, 13 years back, people still watching my
Mhm.
content. Yeah,
Right.
that's so
Right.
important too.
Yeah. So that's where that came in, and that's where the cassette tapes. These were tapes that I was making back when I was speaking. But
Yep.
when you're looking at the stuff about my wife, you're looking about, that's coming from these cassette tapes.
Oh, those ones. Okay.
When you,
Okay.
yeah, those are coming from the old stuff. So what I'm
So
doing is I'm
valuable.
processing,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
it's historical for me. It's historical.
Yes.
I I want people to remember. I want people
Oh,
to know
yeah.
that I've done this through my 30s, 40. Like it's a history to it. It's not new.
Mm-hmm.
I have one where I was talking about my daughter when she was uh, 4 years old, and now she's 30, and she's a
Mm-hmm.
designer.
Yep.
But she wanted to be Pocahontas when she was 4.
Oh, really?
Pocahontas,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and
Pocahontas. Yeah.
so we're doing it. I did a tape of her talking about being Pocahontas
Yeah.
while she's dining, because she's still living part of her dream. She's always
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be in fashion. She always has liked. She's been sewing since she was 3 or 4 years old. She's been making clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
some of that
Yeah.
stuff is historical.
Very much. Wow. So you
Yeah,
are going to,
yeah,
you are saving the sounds and like, you know, the films, and you are going to bring life back again, right? You're going to just create, are you going to create, put on the YouTube or like just do it different
yeah.
format?
Well, we're putting all of this
Yep.
up. Like I'm going to put a speech up that I did that was an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at speakers like Les Brown or Tony Robbins,
Yes.
some of the stuff you're looking at is their legacy stuff from
Mm-hmm.
years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I have very dynamic public speaking engagements that no one has ever heard except the audience that was there.
Yeah, you have to
And
bring
so
them up out.
yeah, I want to bring them up, and I'm just coming up with the formats for
Yeah.
uh, some of it because it's dynamic stuff. But like I said, it's more for um, part of your historical point that you want to make is not just what happens today. Some things I said 20 years ago are still going on today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So its message is not
So
old,
yeah, so
right? Yeah.
yeah, right, right,
Not at
right.
all. Like
So
Deep
I'm
Soul, he
putting
comment, old is gold. Yeah. It's old is
yeah,
gold,
exactly.
you know?
Yeah,
Somebody needs to
and
hear that.
that's the reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I like seeing things on YouTube too, and seeing things that
Yeah.
remind me that because we all have doubt, we all have doubt, we all have doubt in ourselves.
Yes.
I don't know if you doubt yourself. I doubt myself every day,
All the time.
every day.
All the time.
So part of my confidence is putting things together. Like today, I'm doing something on my selling class,
Mm-hmm.
but then I have letters that I have stacks of letters that people used to write me. So what I decided to do on I'm gonna start reading some of those letters.
Yes.
That's unique. That's something that some
That's
people don't have
nice.
that. So
No.
I'm gonna read letters kids were telling me that I helped save their life. And I
Yes.
want to tell the stories about those. And it might be a letter from 20 years ago. But that's
Wow.
uniquely me.
Yes.
Or
But you
like I
know what?
said,
Those letters,
the
yeah.
mhm.
No, it's so resonate still. The people's voice
Yeah,
resonate, you know,
exactly.
to so many people.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got a stack of them. I'm pulling them out. As soon as this is over, as soon as we finish, I'm going out to the garage
Yep.
and um, I'm pulling out a
Yep.
stack of letters and I'm going to put together a way to tell those stories. And
Yeah.
then I want to take one of these cassette tapes, one of these,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to use one of them on, I'm going to do like Evan did on Clubhouse. I'm going to
Yep.
run one of my 1 hour motivational tapes
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
on Clubhouse.
Recording those tapes. Yeah, yeah. That sounds good. Terry is doing it right
I'm
now.
going to do
Well,
one
Terry that
record.
use another people's content. But yeah, some people start doing
I'm going to, yeah, but it's going to be my own content.
your own.
Yeah, my own
Wow.
stuff.
I would love to hear that, Ed.
And then we
I'm gonna
started,
I'm gonna
like
put
I
the
said,
like
the
bell
last piece of the,
notifications.
yeah, it's just going to be from beginning to end.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so exciting. Did you
And I
know
just think
when
it's
we
good.
have
I think it's
yes.
different if you have something that you've done and it was done in front of a live audience. Like I listened to old, Dave Chappelle,
Mm-hmm. I've
the
heard the name.
comedian,
Yes. Yes.
or anybody who's I love looking at them as they mature, like what they did when they were younger, like Tony Robbins,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Les Brown.
Yes.
I love looking at their older material
Yeah.
and seeing how
Yeah.
they
Well, their message
matured,
was still, yeah.
you know.
Yeah. But even if they were
Yeah.
young, their
So
message was still, they were awesome,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because I've been, I've been in and out of this industry 3 times.
Okay. 3 times. But
Because over the last 30 years, yeah, I would
yeah.
go back and forth from speaking, and then I would go back into corporate America and go back into corporate sales. So when we moved here, I was actually working for
Mm-hmm.
a huge company I was in sales,
Yep.
and we moved from Chicago to Atlanta. And this was right before COVID-19 started. So go
Yep.
back a year ago in January of 2020, we moved from Chicago to Atlanta. And my company didn't transfer me,
Mm-hmm.
like they didn't move me from Chicago to Atlanta.
Yes.
My wife's company transferred her, but my company didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So um, I was getting ready to go interview for a sales position.
Okay.
And my kids, because I have a daughter who's a nurse practitioner, a daughter
Mm-hmm.
who's owns a fashion design company,
Yep.
a son who's an engineer, but he does all of our uh, branding stuff. Like he does all of,
Mm-hmm.
like any of this kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
monogram.
Yeah.
He can
Ah.
so, and then my wife writes her book. So
Yeah.
they said, well, why don't they said you've been doing this your whole life? When we were growing up, the one thing I didn't do was I never went out of town and did something overnight because I wanted to stay with my kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did everything local when mom.
Oh, with the
And
family,
so
so
my
important
kids,
too.
they said,
Yeah.
yeah. So I used to speak, and then I would have to run home because I had to get there before the bus got there, the school bus, because that was the
Oh
promise that I
yes.
made my
So
wife. I promised
yeah,
her if I did my own business, I promised her if I did my own business that I would be home every day to help with the kids.
that's it. Yes. Family. Family.
So when
It's important. Yes.
yeah, family first. And so when I started doing
Yes.
very
Family first.
well, when I started doing very well, the demand was for me to start traveling.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is the saddest thing my wife has asked me. So imagine
Yeah.
this. I'm probably 34 years old,
Mm-hmm.
very good looking. I had a head full of hair.
You haven't
I look
changed.
like
Like I
you ever
mean,
heard of
you
you ever
haven't
heard of
changed.
I'll tell you who I look like back then. You ever heard of Denzel Washington?
Yeah. Yeah.
He had nothing on me.
Yeah. Nothing.
I'm talking all kind of stuff now.
You know what?
So
When
so
at the break room, you said you explain how you get grown up kids and you've been married for 30 some years. Everybody's just like, what? You know, we were
yeah,
shocked.
look,
Like you
I
don't look
I,
that
I,
age.
I turned 60 this year.
Oh my gosh,
I turned 60.
amazing. Oh my
So back when I
gosh.
was young, so say I'm 34 years old.
Yeah.
I'm dynamic. I mean, I'm speaking throughout
Yes.
Chicago and I'm hot. I'm hot. I
Yes.
mean, TV shows, everybody's asking me, and
Yes.
this is what my wife asked me.
Yes.
She said, you're not gonna leave us, are you?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I
Amen.
said, and I
Oh, that
said to
kind of
her, I
breaks the heart.
said,
Yeah.
it breaks your heart, doesn't it? because
Yeah.
she saw my success.
It just kind of
And I
that
said,
word kind
Marlene,
of choked me up. Oh, yeah.
yeah. And I wanted you to get the gravity of it, because I told her, I said, I promised you I would be home every day at 2:30 when the bus gets here. I had spoke to 4,000 people the day before. And I had friends that had started to travel,
Yeah.
and they're doing very well, because you all come up in a certain era
Yes.
with a certain, and I could name some people that are famous right now, and you would be like, you know them? I'd be like, yeah, we started out together. But the difference was they would say, let's go. And they would leave Chicago, and they would say, we're going to be on the road for the next 2-3 weeks. And we're
Mm-hmm.
just going to have a speaking circuit where we all hit the same places.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't go.
No,
I
away
can't
from
go.
family. Yeah.
I can't leave them.
No.
So I stayed. And so when my kids grew up, well, I'll tell you the story. So they would see me. I would be at a speaking engagement, and I would almost have to leave to get home. And
Yes.
I'd be looking at my watch, because I'm like, okay, the bus is gonna
Time to
get there.
pick
I
up the
don't have a
kids.
babysitter.
Yeah.
I'll be up at the podium, and I'm like, I got to cut this short. I got to get home.
Everybody look at you like, what? You're the mom? I
So,
don't know. You know, sounds like my friends. Like when we used to get together, or like everybody just like 2:30, we gotta go. We gotta pick up
yeah,
kids.
yeah. And you know who I was back then? I was that guy that you all had as a friend. I knew all the moms.
I would imagine.
I bought
At the
all the
bus stop, right?
cupcakes. I was at bus stop, and
Yep.
and I knew all the stories. I even told my wife. I said, honey, so many people want to get a divorce. I was just in awe, because all my girlfriends, the female friends, they were all unhappy. Everybody wanted to meet me at Dunkin' Donuts to have a conversation. And I was like,
Oh, so funny. Oh
this
my
is
God.
crazy.
You
This
don't
is
miss
crazy,
anything.
because after about 10 or 15 years,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
every lady at the school was unhappy, and I knew it, because I was that guy that they were telling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's a whole nother story. But I
Oh
just
my gosh.
remember.
You know what, EJ? We have to have another IG live too, because you have so many stories.
I
It's
see
so funny.
Francine on here. Francine tell you, the movement maker, she'll be
Oh
like,
my
oh God,
God.
it's go forever. Give me a heart. Give me a heart if you're listening, Frank.
Yeah, but it's so funny. You have so many stories. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But that's why I said to interview me, I said it's gonna be an easy interview, because I can talk about anything all day. So
Yes.
I
Oh
excuse
my
me for
God.
that.
No,
But
it's okay. But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate you you
No
doing this,
problem.
and
No problem.
entertaining the old man.
No, you're not old man. You're not old man. Just the numbers. I always tell everybody. You know, how old are you? Just the
Yeah, it's
numbers.
all a
But
number.
what you feel inside you, you can decide any age.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
how old you
oh
feel,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
how
Like
old
today.
you feel how old you feel like, you know, you can say you can
Oh,
decide any age. How old are you?
well,
Like
I'll put it
you,
this way. I had a picture. I had a picture of my best shape
yeah.
ever.
Yep.
I was an athlete in college. I was 21 years old, and I took this picture
Yes.
knowing that I was in the best shape ever.
Okay.
So I'm getting ready to release the same picture
Yes.
with me standing next to it,
Yep.
with the same jersey that I had on when I
Mm-hmm.
took the picture.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's the way I feel.
wow. Really?
And
So like
the picture's gonna say 20, and then the other one's going to say 60. That's all it's going to have, a number. And it's going to say exactly what you said. Age is just a number.
Age is just a number.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you'll see it
Like
when I put it up, because I'm telling you that I'm going to put it up.
yes, please. Take your action. Take action. We're movement makers. We're going to take action.
Yeah. So I'm going to do it. And I'm going to take it. And no, I feel great.
God.
We're going bike riding today. One of the things that we do
is
like we're going to bike ride. Then we're going to get off the bikes and we're going to walk a half a mile. So, because we do a bike, we usually do a bike and then we run, but we're going to do a bike and walk because it's like 90 degrees.
I know, it's really hot, right? Yeah, I would imagine. It's hot in here, so I can imagine it's even hotter over there.
Yeah. It's burning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So hopefully, anytime you can have me back.
Thank you so much. Because you know what? I know I met you through a Movement Makers, right? A breaking room. And you were super friendly. You got the cap on, you look like a young dude, and you just like, showing those like puppet, Mr. Brown. I just like, okay, wow, okay, I am going to talk to him. So, but when I see your profile, I just like, okay, oh my gosh, he's a big deal. What should I do? That made me nervous. You know how much.
You're not really a big deal, though.
I got so many notes because of this. Prepare, right? I got so many notes because of this. But I just like, you are super friendly. And then just so easy to talk to. Like, I was afraid you're going to judge me, like not having the right questions.
No.
It would never happen to Edge.
No.
Oh my gosh.
No, not at all. Because
it's
a blessing. It's a blessing. This is a bigger deal for me than you, believe me. Because I wasn't doing it. I know what it takes when you feel like you have a lot to say and no one listens.
Yeah.
And you have a lot to say, and you have to really you have to really be in tune to yourself, because the right person at the right time needs your information. But I need information. I needed you today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I feel like I don't know. I feel like like we are built to serve. I did something. I did something good.
Yeah.
Right? And thank you for giving me opportunity, though.
You do a lot. You do a lot of good. I listen to you all the time. I look through your stuff all the time.
Thank you.
And listen to you. And I enjoy your consistency. I enjoy. You are a huge deal to me. Believe me.
Oh my gosh!
Keep doing what
you're doing. I got the
goosebumps. never stop.
Yeah.
I mean, never stop. I mean, you're affecting people that you would never know you're affecting. I mean, you're somebody that my daughters will know. I mean, when I sit down, we'll sit at the table and we'll be talking about you. So imagine that.
Thank you. Oh my God.
And I'm gonna show Sage you also, my little grandbaby.
4 years old.
Yeah.
She's the one how to put a ponytail, right?
So she's 4 years old. So she'll know who you are too.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Matter of fact, I'll get her to say thank you for helping my grandpa, and then I'll send it to you.
Oh, please.
I will.
I want to hear it.
Yes.
I want to hear it. Oh my gosh.
I'll have her on Wednesday. We'll do it on Wednesday. I'll record it on Wednesday, and then I'll send it to you.
Yes, please. I would love to hear that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, we're gonna do a promo for you. We're gonna do a promo for you and send it over. She'll say something nice to you.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know what to say. I'm very happy.
Be nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It'll be nice.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Thank you for sharing me a great stories and then just wonderful time. I really appreciate it. And you offer at the break room at Movement Makers meeting, you offer to everyone. If you need to have like IG Live, talk something, I would love to help you guys out. You offer was so mean to me. Like I thought, oh my gosh, she's so generous, right? So I really appreciate your offer and time, right? Thank you so much. Oh, you kind of froze, but that's okay. I'm sure he can hear you. Yeah, he's a little bit of froze. Maybe, it's okay. But
It's
I
breaking
hope
up a
you'll come
little
back
bit.
so I can say thank you so much again to
Let me
you.
see.
I hope you can hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it broke up a little bit
Oh my gosh,
on you.
oh, okay, I
So
hear
let's
you.
see
Your
here.
your screen is frozen, but that's it's Instagram Live. It's acting funny. There you are. Yeah, so maybe we can do it again. We can do it again. You
Yeah,
know.
can you see me? Is my screen frozen?
No, I can see you moving. It's not frozen. It's a little bit. Sometimes, oh, it's frozen again. That's okay. It happens. Instagram. And thank you so much, Heart.
It's
Aman
breaking up on
is
me
giving us
on my
he's
end.
giving us so much
So,
hearts
so
too.
I'm trying to walk through.
Yeah,
I'm trying to walk to a different the house to see.
that's okay. Oh, it's Wi-Fi. It sometimes happens. It happened to my house too. Sometimes happens. That's okay. I'm used to it.
Let me see.
I can see you.
It's getting up. I
It's a
can't hear.
little. You cannot hear? I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you. Yeah, yeah. I see you.
Okay, so it just came back.
It just came back.
So I'm
Happened.
sorry that it's
Oh,
get up on.
no, don't worry. But you know what? I wanted to say thank you. So I wanted to wait until you show up to say thank you, and like I really appreciate your time. Okay, but thank you so much, EJ. It's
Thank you.
breaking up.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Yes,
so
breaking up.
much. And so, yeah, so I will put when I post on YouTube, and then here I'll put your course and books about all the